Imagine this. Imagine an Australian senator saying in 1945, what happened in Germany, an absolutely evil act, a genocide of the Jewish people, and with that said, we should ban Jewish people from coming here. How about this one? Australian senator says on the 12th of September 2001, I call for a ban of any American stepping foot on Australian soil. Could you imagine? That there is Queensland senator logic right there. And yeah, it did intentionally bring up 9/11 because I feel like that event really shaped how we're having this conversation. I don't doubt that we would still come to this same sort of situation, but Muslims are being targeted. Because yeah, I think that event there would be a big part of the reason why I saw comments on social media posts of the news as it was happening about what happened in New Zealand. People saying things like, good, now they'll know what it feels like. Like, what even? Oh, and the stunning, they should have stayed in their country, or that's what they get for coming here. And you can usually tell by just the photo of the person saying it that they're a very Caucasian person, either if they're in Australia or New Zealand, either way, they're on land that was taken. And that's at best, or they probably have moved here since with their family, have migrated, like what most of these victims try to do in New Zealand. Or were just born there. The children were just born in New Zealand. Alright, we'll go back to this Queensland senator that after he was egged, shout out to the egg boy, and after 1 million Australians signed a petition to have him removed, he goes to the press and he doubles down. He still says we should ban Muslims from coming to Australia. He says this in response to a shooting that took 50 lives, and he says we should ban the group of people identified with the victims. This is unbelievable. Oh, and Anning decided to mention foreign policy. So for like half a second, he was right, and I did agree with him. Like, why are we funding Saudi Arabia and giving them money or selling them things like machine guns that can be mounted onto armoured cars that can be fired remotely? Why isn't Pauline Hanson yelling and screaming about that? She's the queen of anti-Islam. Why doesn't that annoy her? Amazing. What is going through this person's head? Anning mentioned Israel. He tried to pin something on Morrison about funding Israel, and he said something they're attacking or bombing Palestinians. Think about that. He's saying, oh, we should help these people. Oh, but what if they want to come here? Nope, they're banned from coming to Australia, but yeah, have a look at that. Are you serious? Why even mention them? Why? What are you trying to... Like, while he was, I want to ban them, but I want to defend them briefly, little rant, he should have mentioned the Uyghur Muslims in China that are, I think, almost 1 million in a re-education camp. He could have gone to defend them. Or even the Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar, Burma. They were being murdered and their villages set on fire and they were being raped by Buddhists. Because at the end of the day, it's the religion though, isn't it? It's the religion, huh? And the problematic one is definitely Islam. It's definitely Muslims. You always hear about that one. You never really hear too much about what are we going to do about this radical racist movement. It's always, radical Islam. Oh, like you can get your stupid little memes of just pictures saying how many people were killed by one certain demographic, I guess. I guess I can do that too. We'll start with what just happened. Christchurch. You remember Stoneman Douglas, the high school? What about the Pittsburgh Synagogue? Everyone remembers Las Vegas. The Orlando nightclub. Charleston Church. Everyone remembers Sandy Hook. Virginia Tech. Columbine. What about the one Australia had? Port Arthur. Oh, that is also another amazing thing about this with John Howard. It's again when you gotta wheel out your war criminal to seize the opportunity of a mass shooting to try and say that the other side, that Labor's gonna water down gun laws, to try and hold on to his one piece of his legacy that's not absolutely awful. Well done, guys. Good to see how much you value life and stuff, and it's not just about winning or power. Fantastic job. Now, if you've been paying attention and maybe look into things yourself instead of just regurgitating what some stooge on TV has said, maybe keep things in your mind and store them as memories. Helps you decipher the world a lot better, guys. I promise. Some people may have noticed I mentioned the Orlando nightclub shooting. And yeah, he was a Muslim. Killed almost 50 people. Now let's have a little look at how newspapers go about pretty much the same crime, but the identity of the attacker is the main focus. Would you look at that? Yeah, what are we going to do about radical Islam? Ban them. They're the problem. Shun, shun, shun. Because that will make it better. That's not going to make more tensions, which should be by now pretty obvious to anybody who's truly paying attention that is by design, which is really disturbing because they want to antagonize and push someone to commit an act so that they can go, look, see, I told you, look, they're exactly what I said they were. It's grotesque. So they'll try to bid people against each other on these acts of violence. So that is exactly it. We are at each other's throats. We're too busy punching down or punching next to us, and too busy to pay attention to punch up, because while we're yelling at each other over what faith we are or what colour we are or where we live, no matter where you are, they are just rolling you. They are finding ways to just siphon money from you and your country and your community into their private bank accounts. You know it's true. There's one thing that most people can unite on going, yeah, corruption. It's a very prominent thing and it's fucking all of us over. But no, you want your culture wars, you want to use your media. That's another thing. I've had people say to me in person, I hear these politicians and other whack jobs say it, yeah, the left-wing media. The left-wing media is telling these kids that and putting this in there. What left-wing media? What, ABC or SBS? Funded by the government? Yeah, so, alright, okay, sure. Or is it maybe one of the channels which is pretty much owned by a mining giant or no, you gotta tell me it's Murdoch's, aren't you? That's the left-wing media industry. The audacity of everyone in power that is using the loss of lives and the potential danger of other lives for political gain is disgusting. You're a joke and we can see you. So yeah, if you still defend this senator, you're at best naive, but probably you need to have a look within yourself and work out why that hate's there. Like, really, it's not edgy, it's not cool. And if you're a person that supports the shooter, oh my god, you're fucked in the head. You're absolute scum. Okay, just to summarize, every group of people is going to have their duds in the group that cause trouble and mayhem and catastrophes and tragedies like this. But as we should be able to tell by now, most people just want to live their lives, just be with their friends and families. No one inherently evil group of people except for Nazis. There's your exception to the rule. And immigrants, refugees, anyone coming to your country, they're not the ones that determine how well your hospitals function, the bare minimum your employer has to pay you, or if you get any benefits, the standard of the schools in your area. They're not deciding that. The people we elect do. They're the ones that vote for these things and are in charge of it, and at the moment it's a shit show. So they make us try and hate each other so we don't go after the real enemy, these corrupt fuckheads, because I'm pretty sure that no immigrant or even terrorist took all the water out of the Murray-Darling Basin and caused all the dead fish in Madindi. In England, that Grenfell Tower inferno. Or are holding back Americans from having healthcare. Because if you go after the real enemy, even just as selfish means to help yourself, you probably will help somebody else. If we just go after each other, they win. They'll just, one will hold the door, one will hold the bag open, and they'll just fill it full of money and run out on us. Come on, Australia. You're better than this. So how would you like your eggs?